Hello viewers, well, I'm in the Daimler now. I've dropped the evaporator unit and pulled the front off it. I decided to clean the coils by going to all the trouble to rewire everything and make it work better. And it has this on the front of the evaporator coil, which is all clagged up. It's a filter, but it's there to stop little drips of condensate blowing at you. But I'm going to remove it, because I don't think the fan's powerful enough to have that problem, and that would restrict airflow. I'll see how it goes. Too much water comes out, which I doubt, I can always put it back. Oh, I'll give it a good clean. Put this tub under it so don't make a mess. Yeah, don't want to degas it, so leave it in the car. That's a bit better now. There's some nasty stuff in the tub. Finally, this thing's starting to blow some air now. I've had to disconnect the compressor to get it to blow this much air. When it's wired up properly, I'm sure it'll blow a bit more. Hear a bug zapping up there. Well, under the bonnet we find more horrors. So here's the fuse box, and there's the standard 3 fuses that the car comes with to run everything. Yes. And there's that burnt out wire that goes to the alternator. They've put a 70 amp alternator on it, and, well, yes, okay, that's self-explanatory I believe. Small wire for big alternator. So, yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that wire and leave that there and run another one with a fusible link to the battery. So the Lucas wiring alternator side is still alive, so when you've got the headlights on it's not draining straight through the battery side, if that makes sense. But all the alternator current isn't going through the standard wiring, it's going to the battery as well. So it's got 2 feeds from the alternator, and then the amp gauge should not really show a charge then. So it's messing with it a bit, but it should work heaps better, and it should be able to support the air conditioning properly. So these cars were never designed to have air conditioning. So, yeah, as you see, it's got 3 fuses. Yeah. Nasty. Going to be fun, this one. At least it's a negative, or ground. It gets worse and worse. We've wired up the main feed for the compressor, the pressure switch, which is okay, but they've put the trigger to the fan on the other side of the pressure switch, so if it overpressures, the fan will turn off. So that's the worst thing that could happen. Then the engine would obviously be overheating, and just everything would go wrong then. So that's just stupid. The way you should wire them up is so if this overheats, the compressor turns off but the fan keeps going. So, yeah, stupid. Well, all that's in, so just got to wire it up. So I've started running the feed wires to the evaporator coil and through the firewall. One 15 amp feed and a 10 amp trigger for the compressor. But all that'll be doing is running relay. It comes in, looming it up, and then I'll run it across under the dash and make it all nice. Well, there we go. So I'll connect all that up, do the under dash bit first, and run this to its proper length and make it look all nice. I'll vacuum all those leaves out down there as well. Lots of leaves. Well, there's the under dash bit done. So this is from the driver's point of view. If you can't see anything, looks much better than it did. Yeah, look down there, there's a relay. It's not as tidy as I wanted it to be, but oh, what can you do in an old car? Underneath's much better though. The condensate drain should work properly now. So that's that done. It's all tidied up in there now too. So, yeah. So that's just the trigger. I left the fuse on it. That triggers the power when the ignition's on. So that unit won't come on unless the ignition's on. So yeah, that's just the indicator flasher. Just going to fix all that up a bit next. The indicators don't work. And, yeah, so that's that done. There we go, that's looking pretty good now. Very nice. So the compressor's wired up nicely. Ran the wire across the standard loom and in and up. Now I'm ready to put in my master loom. So this is the main feed from the battery and the ignition, so it powers up the fan so it can come on without the air conditioning. 150 amps of power. That'll go in there now, nicely. There we go. All nice and done. Just got to put some fuses in. I've left 2 spare for headlights in the future. Yeah, just got to plug the fan in once I install the radiator. And those 2 wires just sticking out nowhere are for the thermal switch that goes in the bottom hose. All done. Runs up the back, and one to the coil for the trigger, the main fan relay. Looks quite nice. So I'll put some fuses in and see if the compressor starts up and see if it works in the cabin. Oh well, I'm in the car, let's see what happens. I'll turn the ignition on. Cool, had the compressor come on. Wow, and that actually blows air now. Quite impressive. Oh, that's all the wiring done. Just got to put the radiator and fan in. All done. One last thing, I fixed up the alternator wiring. What I did, I repaired the standard wire and put a new one in, running from the alternator across to the breaker here, on this side of it. So it goes back and can feed the battery and help run the fan when the engine's running, instead of the standard wiring having to deal with all the load of the alternator. Because when the fan's on, the alternator will be working hard and it would have all been going through the standard wiring and amp gauge. That's not a good idea. So the amp gauge shouldn't do anything now, at all. So, cool. Thank you for watching.